In today's adventure, we start in the Salt Lake City, Utah area in northern Utah and drive down to southern Utah to our friend's house in Cedar City for a Canyoneering Friends reunion. Canyoneering is exploring a canyon while descending through it using a variety of techniques for getting super dirty, including, but not limited to, hiking, rappelling, climbing up or down obstacles, and guided ziplining.
Legs up, legs up! Woo! All right!
Sliding, swimming, stemming, crawling, squeezing, or anything necessary to get through all the obstacles that the canyon throws at you.
There you go. You got it, man. Yeah!
Check out this marsh. All the while taking in the natural beauty all around us. Sometimes there was deep water that could be jumped into with careful scouting before, of course.
Hey, bro. It's kind of cold again.
Most rappels were somewhere between 35 to 75 feet, but some were up to 300 feet tall. We descended most of the canyons in summer, but also did some canyons in the winter. Over the last 18 years, I've explored 41 canyons, and including repeats, I've descended 48 times. The vast majority of them were between 2009 and 2011, where some periods of the year I was canyoneering every weekend for up to 6 weeks in a row. Most canyons were in Utah, but I've also descended canyons in Nevada, Arizona, and Hawaii.
Yeah, buddy.
In fact, the very first video here on my YouTube channel is of an unusual canyoneering trip down the subway in Zion National Park. If you'd like to see that video, click on the card above. Canyoneering is a great team building activity, working together to get through the canyon's obstacles. And now, 10 years later, we still get together, albeit far less often, and what we can pull off with our collective families. The car is all charged up. Girls, what time is it?
Adventure time!
That is right. Do you know where we're going?
No, we're going to Cedar City.
That is correct, yes. Let's show here on the car's navigation. We are at 100% on the battery. If I change to distance, you'll see the rated range is now 255 miles on our car. The rated range last time I measured it, which was actually just last week, was 256, but it had been 256 for quite some time, probably 6 months or more, and we've put a lot of miles on the car, including the road trip to Yellowstone, so I'm actually not surprised it has gone down 1 mile of rated range, part of expected battery degradation, I think. And we are going to Cedar City, and so we are up here, and we'll be driving down I-15. We'll be charging in Beaver, Utah at the Supercharger there. The car estimates that we'll arrive with 11% and need to be there for 20 minutes. And we'll see how long that actually needs to be, because we don't really need to get to Cedar City with 24%. We're actually staying at a friend's house in that area, and we'll be charging from their dryer outlet. By charging from their dryer outlet, the car will charge more slowly than a Supercharger, of course, but that's okay because we'll be staying there overnight. We could probably arrive there with 10% remaining and be just fine. Our frunk is full of various incidentals, and then coming around here to the back, we have about this full of stuff. We have a little bit more stuff than usual because we'll probably be going canyoneering, and so this is all of our canyoneering stuff there, helmets and rope and whatnot. And then we have a cooler in here on the floor, which we haven't done before, below Lucy's feet, that fits nicely. Won't work once she's larger, but it works great now. So let's get started. The red lines on this map show all the other trips I've documented here on my YouTube channel. For this trip, our drive from home down to Beaver, Utah was uneventful, which is good. After charging enough to get to our friend's house in Cedar City, we unplugged and checked out the Beaver Creamery before continuing on our way. We arrived at our friend's house and had a good time visiting. The next day we adventured at Benson Creek. Then the next day our adventure was at Aspen-Mirror Lake, where we spent several hours, and then we headed back to Cedar City and then back home at the end of our trip. The drive to Beaver took 2 hours and 11 minutes to drive 176 miles, which used 94% of the battery. That was 74.1 kilowatt hours, or 422 watt hours per mile, or 72.5% efficiency, or 80 miles per gallon equivalent. Charging at the Beaver Supercharger took 23 minutes to add 33%, or 85 rated miles to the battery from 5 to 38%. If we didn't have free supercharging, that 24.62 kilowatt hours would have cost us $7.02. The drive to Cedar City took 39 minutes and used 26% of the battery to drive 50 miles. That used 20.61 kilowatt hours, and we arrived at 11% remaining on the battery. We used 413 watt hours per mile and got 74% efficiency, or 94.6 miles per gallon equivalent. That evening, our car charged from our friend's dryer outlet for 11 hours and 19 minutes, adding 79% to the battery, or 58.65 kilowatt hours. I had the car stop charging at 90% since I knew we wouldn't need 100% the next day. At 10 cents per kilowatt hour, that would have cost $5.86. That brings the total cost to drive down $12.88. The charge rate right now that we're getting is still ramping. Right now it's looking like it's settling around 7. We arrived here with 5% battery. Unfortunately, there's some other cars already charging, and the other 4 charging stalls are taken well, I'll show you, but they're covered with cones. So we plugged in next to this Model 3 here. There's these 4 charge stalls. There's a Model Y there, and then those other 4 are, I guess, undergoing maintenance right now, so we're all stuck over here with just these 4. The green Model 3 next to me just barely unplugged, and they're taking off. Several other cars have arrived, including this X next to me and S next to them, and then this Model 3 and another Model S over there. So there's now 2 cars waiting. Our charge rate, we're up to 19%, and our charge rate jumped up to 101 kilowatts as soon as that Model 3 next to us unplugged. So that's good. At this point, it's estimating that we only need to be here another 15 minutes and then we'll get on our way. All right, our battery got up to 38%, and that's enough to get to where we're going. So we unplugged. That supercharger station was really busy anyway. First, we're going up here to the Dairy Farmers of America Creamery to get some squeaky cheese, which we like to get here, and then we'll get back on the freeway. We've arrived at our friend's house, and I have figured out the charging options here at their house and gotten plugged in. As typical, I plugged into their dryer outlet, and you can see here that the car is at 11%, and it's estimating 13 hours to charge to 100%. Now, in our case, we're not going to charge to 100%. We'll go up to 90, so we'll do that and let it update the time here. But I'm charging at the typical dryer outlet speed of 24 amps because it is a 30 amp circuit, and that means we're getting 6 kilowatts out of it, or 24 amps, and in this case we're getting about 238 volts. So now it's estimating 11 and a half hours to charge up to 90%, but we're staying here overnight, so that's plenty fine. So now let me show you the setup here. This is actually the longest run of charging cable I've ever done. So this is the plug that comes with the car, and that is going in here to their garage, here to my 30-foot extension cord, and then that is coming around the corner here and into their laundry room, and then the cord is going up that way, and then the NEMA 1430 outlet is down there on the floor, and so I have my NEMA 1430 to NEMA 1450 adapter being utilized here. And so with this 30-foot cord and the 20-foot Tesla EVSE cord, the 50 feet is fully being utilized. Something you should always do before plugging in your electric car is check the circuit panel. Here it says dryer, and we can see down here that the dryer switch is 30 amps. Lucy, what happened?
I was taking a bite of my watermelon.
Yeah?
And then when I took a bite, I felt something crunchy, and then I thought it was a seed, so I was like, when I get home, I'll plant it in the garden. But when I pulled it out, it was a tooth.
Oh, let's see. Oh, wow, that's a big gap. It's super cute. The next day, driving to go canyoneering, I rode with my friends, and Jessica came later in our Tesla. That drive took 19% of the battery to drive 36 miles round trip. Going up, we got 446 watt-hours per mile, and coming down, it was 352. We didn't drive anywhere else that day, as we were just hanging out at our friend's house. And after hiking for a while, this is the canyon that we came to explore, and you can even see the waterfall that we rappelled down that you will see later in the video. We are here at the trailhead for the canyon. This is the Hidden Haven trailhead, and we're going to be going up that trail. We are near the ridge now, and this is what the view looks like. And down there is the road we came up on. And the trail we're going up. There it is.
Yeah, this is it right here. It's pretty. Yeah.
And on that large tree at the base of it is some rope and webbing that we're going to be rappelling off of over this cliff. That's where we're going to be going down. Way to go! I know, this feels so good. It's been years. No, rope! Oh, hey! Hey, Lucy. I can see the hole in your mouth from here. Yeah. Okay, we're coming down. And hug some children. Ah! Hey, baby. Girls, did you have a great hike here?
I can feel it.
Lucy's going into the waterfall. Whoa! Is it cold?
Yes.
Yeah. What did you think of the waterfall, Lucy? And the hike up here?
Great.
Great. What about you, Lydia? Great.
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 I climbed it all by myself.
Oh, good job. Good job, Lucy. No hands?
No hands.
That's great.
All the hike.
Wow.
All the hike, no hands.
Wow, Lucy, you're so good at hiking. And here's Lydia. And Clara. Hey, baby.
Are you a climber now?
Yeah, it's kind of a fun, good route.
doesn't want to get wet. It's okay, it's a lot closer.
Okay, jump. Good job, Clara. Is this so much fun, Lucy?
Did I see anything while I was hiking to the waterfall? Let me go down first, okay? You wait here.
Good job, Clara. Woohoo! There you go. Yay!
We did it!
There you go.
I'm a climber.
Hey,
I kept saying that before I hiked up. Mom, I'm a climber.
She is. And we're coming back to the parking lot. That's a very loud dump truck. And here's the Tesla. Let's get it start cooling down. You want to put it in the trunk? Okay. I had lots of fun canyoneering Benson Creek, and the kids had a lot of fun exploring up to the waterfall. Getting the timing right is tricky, and the kids ended up getting to the waterfall 52 minutes before we did, but they were happy to explore the area while waiting for us. I look forward to when we'll be able to start taking our oldest kids with us. Even though the drive out of the canyon was downhill the whole way, I never had to use the friction brakes because of the regen braking, which is an awesome feature in this type of setting. I like it in all driving, but especially when I normally have to be using the brakes a lot. We are heading back to our friend's house. This is what the energy graph looks like. That was going up into the canyon and then back out of it. So we got a 290 watt-hour per mile average on this short little drive that is about a 25-minute drive one way. We're going on a fun little day adventure. We're gonna go to this place here that's near Duck Creek Village. It's like near Aspen Lake, I think is what it's called. And that map is not loading quickly. We should be arriving there with 67% battery. So yeah, Aspen-Mirror Lake. We are currently at 91% on the battery, so we'll be there in about 52 minutes. The drive to Aspen-Mirror Lake was mostly uphill, and it took 47 minutes to drive the 38 miles. It used 24% of our battery, which is 18.58 kilowatt hours, or 490 watt hours per mile. The miles per gallon equivalent was 69, or 62.3% efficiency. Our net elevation gain was 2,786 feet. We've got 23 minutes left before we arrive, and the energy graph is looking really impressive. Average at 487 watt hours per mile. We're obviously going up into the mountains, but luckily coming out of this, we're going to be getting a whole lot of regen, so we'll regain some of this range as we come back out. It's currently 81 degrees outside, and this is what the view looks like out on the road. Mostly it's just green forests. However, there is this really cool red cliff area that is just here behind these trees. I don't know how well you can see that, but those are really cool looking cliffs. All right, we've arrived, and the energy graph looks like this upon arrival, 438 watt hours per mile, but I saw way higher than that. I'll put on screen here the highest I saw. I'm going to leave the car in camp mode just to kind of see how much energy consumption it has, and because I'm charging some batteries right here. But the battery is currently at 66%.
We're almost there.
Actually, we are there.
Are you guys excited? Looks like the kids are having lots of fun. Are you guys having fun? Good. Hey, Clara. Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, good job, Lydia.
Nice. That's what you have to reel it in. There you go. And that's the way you reel. Good job.
Wow, good job, Lucy. Hey, Clara.
I was on the boat. And we're fishing.
Yeah.
Where are we, Anthony?
I'm on a boat.
On the lake.
I'm away.
Lydia's fishing. And Lucy's fishing. And Clara's riding. Can you say hi, Clara?
After many hours of fun, we then packed up and headed out. All right, we've been at the lake for about 4 hours and we're coming back to our car. Look how dusty it is. It was in this parking lot where all these ATVs are driving by constantly, and I have never seen our car this dusty. Some of it will blow off on the road, I'm sure, but otherwise it's gonna have to wait for the car wash. When we parked it, it was at 66% battery, and I changed it into camp mode so that it would be charging batteries and keep the batteries somewhat cooler. And so now 4.5 hours later, the battery is down to 60%. So just to give you an idea, having the cabin set to 80 degrees, having the outside be about 92 degrees, 4.5 hours takes up 6% of the battery. What did you think of the lake?
Good. I love splashing in the paddling boat.
In the paddling boat? Yeah.
I like splashing. Got me all nice and cool.
Yeah.
I like to eat the chips.
You would like to eat the chips. Yeah, that was fun. I'm glad you had fun, girls. The drive back to Cedar City took the same 47 minutes as the drive up, but it only took 8% of our battery instead of the 24% that it took to get up there. So over 38 miles, it only took 6 kilowatt hours or 159 watt hours per mile to get back down to Cedar City. That translates to 192.6% efficiency or 212.6 miles per gallon equivalent. Upon arriving back at our friend's house, we charged up the car for 5 hours and 38 minutes to add 38% to the battery, which added 28 kilowatt hours to the battery. We've arrived at our destination, and the screen here is a little hard to see, but you can see the average watt hours per mile getting back here after 30 miles is 5. So we did a whole lot of coming down out of the canyon, made for really good energy recouping. So the car is at 52% and we left at 60%. We are back in the car and we're heading home at the end of our trip. What did you think of this trip, girls?
It was great.
It was great?
Yeah.
Me too?
But we're still on our trip.
We are. Yeah, we're just heading home now. All right, looking at the car, we charged up to 100% here, and it's now down to 99% as we are getting the car loaded up. We are navigating up to close to where we're home, and it's saying that we need to stay below 80 miles an hour to reach our destination at 5%. I anticipate we are going to stop at the Nephi Supercharger, which is right here, but we'll see how it goes. We might be able to do the whole thing in one go. Well, we shall see. It's currently 76 degrees outside. We did end up stopping at the Nephi Supercharger, and the drive there took 2 hours exactly. We used 70% of the battery to go 161 miles. That is 54.83 kilowatt hours, which is 341 watt hours per mile. That comes to 89.4% efficiency or 98.8 miles per gallon equivalent. We charged for 16 minutes in Nephi, adding 22% or 16.17 kilowatt hours to the battery. That charge would have cost us $4.25 if we had to pay. We then drove for 33 minutes using 17% to drive 42 miles where we stopped to visit family. That drive got 95% efficiency or 105 miles per gallon equivalent. Then we continued on home for 28 minutes using 10% or 25.84 kilowatt hours. That drive achieved the same efficiency as the prior drive. We ended up getting home with 19% remaining. Round trip, we drove 570 miles, but consumed 697 rated miles. Rated miles for our 2015 Model S 85D is 300 watt hours per mile. All that driving used 212.75 kilowatt hours, so we got 373 watt hours per mile on average. We added 42.07 kilowatt hours from Superchargers, which would have cost us $11.30. From home sources, we charged 185.21 kilowatt hours, which would have cost us $18.52 at 10 cents per kilowatt hours. Total trip cost for us was free, but it could have cost us $29.82 to drive 570 miles. All right, we are approaching the Nephi, Utah Supercharger right here, and it shows that we will arrive at our destination at 7%, so we actually don't need to charge, but we're going to be stopping to visit someone up here in the Spanish Fork area, and so just to give us some safety margin just in case, we're going to go ahead and stop at the Supercharger and charge up. The car is at 29% right now, and it's 100 degrees outside. It has gotten as high as 102 degrees on this trip. We're plugged in. We plugged in at 29%. We're getting only 27 kilowatts, unfortunately. This is a pretty busy supercharger. We don't technically need any to get home, like I said, but we're going to stop somewhere, but we don't need much. We're going to be going off-road a little bit, or off the freeway, so we'll just be here probably for 10 minutes or so, and then we'll continue on our way. Oh, looks like the charge rate is increasing. So I'm not sure why it was so slow for a little while there, but now that's a good amount of time there. We got up to 50% on the battery. We're down to 60 kilowatt charge rate. This is more than enough. And the girls needed to use the bathroom here anyway. So we just stopped charge while we were stopped, and now we're going to continue on our way. It's 104 degrees outside. So yeah, it's uber hot. We're at 25% on the battery, and we should be getting home, near home at 20% on the battery. We are home. We ended up arriving at home with 19% on the battery, and I plugged it in, and to get up to 80%, it'll take 6 hours and 40 minutes here on our house current, which is 9 kilowatts right now. Sometimes it gets to 10 kilowatts, but being a hot day right now, a lot of people are using their air conditioning, and so the voltage has sagged down to 225 volts. So we're getting just a little bit over 9 kilowatts on that. So I would say this trip was another successful trip in the books for us, and the Tesla worked great, great for us. We would have been able to come completely home without charging, but we ended up stopping somewhere along the way, so we needed a little bit of extra charge to go off the road, off the freeway, and back to the freeway. Our car got super dusty, so it's definitely our adventure mobile. I hope it was helpful to see how the car performed in this particular trip for these types of activities. And with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.